Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. So today I thought I would come to you guys with a message of hope, especially for my ladies who are struggling when it comes to making decisions about decluttering and purging and pulling things from their home. Sometimes it's very easy on social media for people to make it seem like these are things that are easy to do. And for some, maybe it is if you've always grown up in an environment that's supportive of decluttering. But for some of us, it's a little tricky. And I just wanted to take a moment to share a message that was on my heart in the hope that if you are struggling and you feel stuck in that department, it will give you a little bit of encouragement in basically making the decisions that you need to make so that you can feel free to walk into the next chapter of your life. And so before we begin, my name is Lede and I'm the creator of this channel, Love Always Lede. And on this channel, I just like to talk about my peaceful homekeeping lifestyle in the hopes that it can be encouraging to other moms and help other moms feel like more confident home managers. And so if you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe if you like to hear content like this. And yeah, subscribe. Let me know who you are. I would love to connect. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So before I can share the message that came to me about just maybe a different way to think about this process and think about what we're called to do, let's just take a moment to think about clutter. Like, what is clutter? How do you define clutter? Whenever I was thinking about this question, I felt like the first thing that came to my mind was just like, oh, clutter is just mess on the counters and maybe stuff that we don't need anymore and that we need to get rid of. But the more I thought about it, the deeper that I began to think about clutter. And for me, the way that I think about clutter now is clutter are those things in your home that basically create noise and create chaos in your mind and in your heart. And, you can create clutter from many different ways. Maybe we have a limited amount of space and we're trying to cram too much stuff into a space that honestly can't accommodate it. So it disrupts the peace. It creates noise. It looks like clutter. Sometimes we have clutter because we have things that maybe we bought and it served its purpose. It was for a different chapter of your life, a different season of your life. And for some reason, we tend to hold on to it. We tend to cling on to it when its season is gone. And once again, that takes up space. It consumes space that we need in order to accommodate this season of our life. Another thing that can make stuff feel cluttered is maybe we have the appropriate stuff in the appropriate space, but it's not arranged or organized in a way so that stuff just feels easy to find. And so it can look cluttered that way. And so I just think it's important to really think about what is clutter and then to think about how it impacts you. So once again, when I started thinking about this question, how does clutter impact us? My first thought was to think about it once again in a very simplified way. Oh, it makes it hard to keep the house clean. Oh, it just means there's more to clean. Oh, it makes it hard for me to put away stuff because I don't have a place to put it. But the more I started to think about it, I started getting deeper into this as well. And I'm like, clutter really creates a heavy burden for us. Clutter makes you feel not confident in your home, all the noise that it could create. Clutter makes you feel like you're always dropping the ball because once again, your home just never feels the way that you think that it should feel. Clutter makes it hard for you to entertain guests. And because it's so hard for you to pull your home together, clutter may make you not even want to invite people over, or may make that experience something that was supposed to be a time of connection and building and connecting with others to something that actually creates dread in you because of all the preparation that goes into it. Clutter, I think I read this in the Fly Lady book, but it's also really true. Clutter makes you feel like you don't deserve things that are nice. especially if you notice that you're always telling yourself that, oh, I can't get that, I can't buy that right now because I have to be able to keep the home clean first before I get this really nice bed set or this really beautiful tablecloth. Like, my home isn't in a condition to be able to deserve this. And so you're always denying yourself things that would possibly bring joy to your life, like the connections, like the friendship, like, once again, the things that we can use to adorn our home, and the things that can actually spark joy, because we feel so guilty about, the condition of our home. And so I think the list goes on and on and on. And my next question is, it's like, if we know that clutter essentially creates noise, it creates chaos, it makes us feel uncomfortable in our own home, it practically smothers us in our home, why do we choose to hold on to it? Why do we cling on to it? What purpose does it serve for us to not let it go? And I think if you're struggling with this, you know what those reasons are for you. And I've shared my reasons on my channel before, why I used to hold on to stuff. A big piece of it was culture. I just grew up in an environment where we were just told to just hold on to things, even if we weren't using them, even if they weren't helpful, even if our closets and drawers and things were cluttered, because it's good quality. So we can't let it go because it costs money. I felt like it was wasteful to let stuff go that I wasn't using. So instead of passing it on to someone else, I felt like I had to hold on to it. I'm pretty sure that for me, it was a very type of scarcity mindset. We can't let go of it because what if I need it one day, or what if when I need it, I can't get it back? And so for all of us, I think that the answers might be different. And so it's just crazy. We have all of these reasons that we hold on to clutter, even though we know that it just creates so many problems for us, and it creates so much chaos in our lives. And so this is the part that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. The part that I hope will bring someone hope, especially if you're feeling like that conundrum between, I know it has to go, but it's uncomfortable for me to let it go. It's really a hard decision for me to make. And instead of making those decisions, I would rather just kind of wait and possibly just put that decision off for another time. And one thing I want to propose or ask you to consider is, have you ever noticed that whenever we transition in our life, typically into a new chapter of our life, that it's possible to experience joy and grief at the same time? For example, a lot of us here are moms, and sometimes when your baby is growing up, maybe they hit a milestone, maybe they just had a birthday, maybe you're looking at some old pictures. One piece of us can feel excitement and joy for the stage that they're in, or the stage that they're going to. My baby's going to kindergarten. But another piece of us can grieve at the same time, because we're like, wow, like, those days are gone behind, those baby days, they just went by so fast, and a small piece of me wishes that I had more time. Maybe another example could be when you left high school and you were on your way into the real world, adulthood, college, your first job, whatever that is for you. One piece of you was probably very excited for your future and what was to come and that next chapter in your life, while the other piece of you at the same time felt a little bit of grief because, what about my friends? What about this place where, I'm so well known and I've just done so many great things here. I have so many memories here. And so it happens a lot when we are transitioning from one season to a new season, when we are transitioning from one chapter to a new chapter, where we can have joy and fulfillment and excitement for the new chapter, the possibilities, the things that we're going to create. And in that same exact moment, we can experience grief at the same time because of what we have to leave behind in order to walk into that new chapter. And I think this is honestly the best way for me to explain that transition for me, as I was changing my mind frame around decluttering, as I was walking into the next chapter of my life, which was my peaceful homekeeping chapter. When I made that decision that, yes, I know that my grandmother gave this to me, but this is not my grandma. I have to be able to release these items and be able to release this stuff if I want to be able to walk into the next chapter of my life. It can't come along for the next chapter, and that's okay, So I just want to let you know that if you're going through that, you're not alone. That is something that I've definitely had to experience, but I just want to give you encouragement that don't hold off on that decision. Especially if you feel stuck. This might be the reason why you feel stuck. It's that clinging on to and holding on to that old chapter. And it makes it incredibly difficult for you to open the door and walk into the next chapter of your life. And so as you begin your decluttering projects, y'all know how we do in the peaceful homekeeping way. Just 15 minutes, a little bit, as often as you can throughout the week. Just really try to think about the new chapter you want in your life. And as you're going through your items, is it appropriate for these items to come with you to that new season? And not only the items do you have to think about, but also think about the ways of being that used to be in that old chapter of your life, the ways of thinking. Is it appropriate for these thoughts to come into this new chapter of my life? If I know that in order for me to have a peaceful, calm, easy to clean, warm, inviting environment, I should hold on to things that are blessing my family, that are providing value to my family, things that I would totally go and repurchase. Anything else that's outside of that, really ask yourself and really try to listen to what comes up for you when that item is like asking you to stay, when you know in your heart that it's not for this season. And not only do you have to think about what items you're going to have to let go of as you walk into this new chapter, but also what thoughts am I going to have to let go of? What norms that I've always known am I going to have to let go of? And yes, it's uncomfortable to break out of your comfort zone and step into the new, but I want to let you know that you can do it. You can do it. Yes, my family has always told me that this is wasteful to have all these nice things, but I can no longer keep things just because they're nice as I walk into this new chapter of my life where I'm not struggling with my home. Those two things just don't go together. Those thoughts that hold me back and my new way of life, they don't go together, and I have to release that. Like, yes, I know that, when I was growing up, I was told that it's wasteful, but in my new chapter of life, I get to acknowledge that I made a purchasing mistake. I bought something, I thought that I was going to use it at the time, and I can't just keep looking at it and punishing myself and feeling guilty because I didn't use this juicer the way that I thought I was going to. And instead of holding on to it and letting it create chaos and noise in my life and making me feel guilty, I'm going to give this to a family who would use it and who it would be a blessing to. So no, it cannot come into this new season and this new chapter in my life. And it's really a process, and it's really a journey. And if you are willing to bring in the new and also be okay with the discomfort and the grief that you may feel at the same time, I think that you will begin to feel free. You will finally begin to not feel stuck, because you won't be stuck anymore. You'll be taking steps to let go of the old and bring in the new chapter of your life. So I just wanted to share that today. You guys know that right now I'm in the process of creating the beta version of the Peaceful Homekeeping group, and this is what we're going to be discussing tonight, and I'm super excited about it. By the time this video is released on YouTube, that conversation would have already happened, but I'm just super excited to be able to have these conversations. And not only, it's not a conversation where people are going to be listening to just me. It's a dialogue, and we're all going to get to talk about it. And I'll probably be as silent as possible, because you guys know my story. You guys know me. But it's really cool when a group of moms who are on the same mission, who are kind of struggling with similar things, can come together and talk about these things and kind of let it out of their souls, and be able to confront the thought patterns that are holding them back, the struggles in their heart that may be holding them back, and deciding to be free from that and to release it and to move forward. And these are the deep conversations that we have in our group that is just so fulfilling for me. And so the group will be opening in 2021. And until that time, if this sounds like something that you would love to be a part of, if you want that sisterhood and you want to take this journey and walk alongside other moms, then I'm going to leave some information down for you below. This is my email kind of newsletter type of thing. Actually, it's more than that. What it is the Peaceful Homekeeping Challenge, where I walk you step by step through the system that I use, and it starts from ground zero, and I'll build you all the way up. And if you're on this email list, you'll not only receive motivational emails to help you get through your first 8 weeks, you'll not only receive free resources, printables, trackers, things of that nature, and the videos that go along with it, but you'll also get information about this group and as we're getting ready to open in 2021. And so thank you guys so much for being here today. I hope that this message will inspire you to be okay with stepping into the new chapter of your life. And, if you want to do that, we have to let go of those things that we're clinging on to. We have to be okay with stepping outside of our comfort zone and being okay with experiencing the joy of the new chapter in our life, and also being there with the grief that may accompany that as we say goodbye to what once was. It's a process and it's difficult, but you are strong and you can do this. All right, until next time, I'll see you guys. Thank you so much for listening.